Salim, David, recall him?
Salim, hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Do you remember him? Did you meet
I don't
David?
think I never met. We never met.
We haven't met, no. Good to meet you, Salim.
You miss
nice
each
to meet you
other
too, David.
by a week, okay, Salim?
Oh, okay.
Okay, tell us what you were on, what you came here, the story.
Me or David?
Huh?
Salim.
Me or David? Okay.
Yeah,
So, whoa. All right, we got a big storm. I think there's a tornado.
Yeah, let's just say,
Uh,
blessed be God and everything. Allah is great. Don't worry about it.
yeah, everything's good. Okay, so before I came, I was on Suboxone. I was taking I had tapered myself down. I was prescribed 2 8-milligram pills a day. I had tapered myself down to about a quarter to a half a pill a day, which is 2 to 4 milligrams. And I was injecting it. And I would do that. I would break it down into really tiny pieces. Yeah, I was injecting the Subutex. Yeah, it's very dangerous. There's a lot of fillers in there.
Well, it's the same thing. So you're talking about Suboxone or Subutex?
Subutex. It doesn't have the Narcan or the naloxone.
Okay,
so
it doesn't matter. Crazy heroin plus crazy glue, both of all of them. Go on.
Yes. So I would do that about 4 to 7 times a day, and total throughout the day, like I said, would be 2 to 4 milligrams. And I was doing a little bit of meth here and there, and I tapered myself down to that amount so I could sell the rest of my pills. And so that was part of my monthly income. But my mom, I had heard of Ibogaine about 15 years ago from a Vice documentary. And I knew what it was. My mom
By the way,
asked me if I'd heard of it.
Vice is coming down to do a documentary here. They were supposed to come down because of the corona. It's delayed. Soon they're going to be there.
That's amazing. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard of it. My mom, she was the one who said, "Hey, have you heard of Ibogaine? Is it something you want to try?" And in my mind, I'd known about it. I was kind of nervous about it because, from someone who's done mushrooms and acid, I thought, "Oh, I don't know, I'm scared. Maybe I'm gonna have a bad trip." But it's nothing like that at all. I was nervous. I was apprehensive. Of course, in the back of my mind, I knew that I at least wanted to try it. I felt a lot of pressure because the amount of I didn't want to my parents were paying for it. I didn't want to try it because I've been to so many rehabs before. I didn't want to fail and then feel like I wasted their time, their money. And so eventually I got around to saying
You're a wonderful mother, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, okay. She's awesome. She did all the research. She watched all the videos. She talked to me about it. And so I went ahead and did it. I was nervous. Eric, he talked me out of thinking of it as tripping. But yeah, that's it. I will say I had a really good experience. My last flood dose, I think it was my second flood dose.
Full treatment. We don't call it flood dose anymore. We're the plumbers. Okay. Full treatment. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, my second treatment, I was there's the music that you listen to, and it's like very shamanistic kind of, and I was hearing
Are you kidding? I'm not shamanist, it's my music.
It's beautiful music.
The last thing I want to be is shaman. Please. I happen to be a rabbi.
It was a rabbi music. It was very, very beautiful, very spiritual, but in the instrumentals I heard it went bum bum bum, but I heard don't do drugs. Yeah. And then there's another part. The guy he's singing, I think it was you, David. He was like, "Where ya?" And I heard, "Where ya going?" Where are you going in life? Yeah. So those are the things that I heard. And then after it was all over with, the sun was just starting to go down. I went out to the backyard by the pool, and I had I had I don't know, like a spiritual awakening, so to speak. I felt great. I looked in the water. The water, it looked like 1,000 diamonds strewn across the water. The sky was beautiful. The sunset. Yeah, it was awesome. I never had a feeling like that before, but it woke up my spirit, I guess. It woke it up, and it doesn't. People say that it changes your brain. I don't think it changes your brain, but it helps you.
Yes, it changes your brain, makes it normal. This is normal.
Yeah. Normal. Yeah, you're right.
It changes your brain. Okay.
Yeah, it opens your eyes without your ego involved.
Yes, you're right.
That's
David,
what happened to me.
You see, David, you missed him, I think, by a week. When were he? What date? What was the date?
I left January 22nd or 24th. One of those two.
Like a month. Yeah.
Okay, so you
by
was
month.
By a month. Okay, David, you were January 1st.
December 9th to the 19th.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So okay. David was before you. So you month. So you have been. Do you feel any anxiety, any more depression? Do you think for drugs?
I felt depression, but it was not because of this. It was because of the being quarantined. As soon as I came out, we all were on lockdown. So, all my anxiety was about getting a job. I couldn't find a job because we're on lockdown. So nothing from drugs. Honestly, I tell people this. I feel like I was never an addict. I feel like that was in another life. It's really weird. Like, okay. They say once an addict, always an addict. I don't feel that way. And I'm even more cautious.
Never anybody should say that. Okay. Mm-hmm. There is a creator and he has a solution, everything. If a person wants to know, here you are, David. Another David we interviewed 2 weeks ago. Another Bill, the same thing. Suboxone, Sabitek, methadone, that's all the same thing. This is the biggest thing. Okay, people call and they really, without having any knowledge, any understanding, it's impossible. It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. Then it's not like opening the bottle and the genie comes out, right? You were here. For how long were you here?
2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. So that's the 2 weeks. You get 3 full treatments. In between, you get boosters. A great doctor give me most beautiful analytic, one of the best. Okay, and I understood part of your body's. You had a surgery, apparently, right? I remember that.
Yeah, surgery.
Yeah, and you started taking, from that time, started taking oxys or something? That's how it started?
No, actually, I started before after my surgery, actually. When I had my surgery first, I was like 14. My mom was controlling my pills, and I didn't think about taking them improperly until about a year later. Some kid was just selling them to me in school, and I would just buy them for a couple dollars, and then it made me feel great. And then and that was like 15 years old, maybe. Yeah, 15. And that's when I started, when I was 15. And I didn't stop until 5 months ago?
Yeah.
So of course I progressed on heroin,
Went through the ladder, going up Vicodin, then Percocet and Oxycontin and heroin and the whole thing. And then in the end, a solution, Suboxone, methadone, Sebi takes, and you're going to have, David, to take it the rest of your life, they tell you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
David, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a similar story. Got in a car accident, was prescribed Vicodins and Norcos. I started getting oxys, and then it kind of got out of control, and I was told there was a solution. And this is back in 2008. And I had seen some stuff on the web about Ibogaine, but it was just not nearly enough information to give me the confidence I needed fly to another country and go through the treatment. 2008,
Right.
And so I looked locally, and they said, "Hey, here's a solution. It's Suboxone." And okay, cool. Went through the program, went through the, all of the treatment and the counseling and everything to understand it, and it was doing well, but then it didn't work anymore. It started having all these side effects of Suboxone that, happened. And so 10 years later, I started doing more research, and I found David and called him up, wired him money, hopped on a plane, and just said, "Please fix me," and he did. And I'm sitting here healthier than I've ever been in my life because he fixed me, so.
The Almighty fixed you, but I was messing generally. But tell me, Salim, how does that numbness? I remember that they did a surgery on you in your toe, right? And they touched some nerves, and it's half of your body was numb.
I don't know if that was what happened, but yeah, I had surgery on both of my feet to correct bunions when I was in middle school. And I used to run cross country, and about 10 years later, it started in my toe, and then a pain went from my big toe up to my knee, to my hip, my shoulder, my neck, all on the left side. But it all started in the toe that I had surgery on. Whenever going through Ibogaine, I don't want to say it corrected it, but it showed me how to correct it. It showed me that something was off on my body. And so every day I try and I was walking only on my right side to avoid the pain on the left side. Yeah. So the
Ibogaine started walking. He says, "Wow, I remember I can walk."
I mean, so let's say I was at 5% on the left side of my body. After the Ibogaine treatment, I was at maybe 35-40%, which it's a huge jump because it was going on for about a year and a half. And so within a few days to have the flexibility that I had in such a short amount of time was crazy.
Didn't come for this. You came this happened to be that it neurologically fixes everything. Okay. It's not everything. It's really neurologically. It doesn't fix a broken leg. You're broken up.
I feel like I had like an understanding with my body to where I knew what it was and how to fix it. It was just a matter of time. It's really, really weird, really hard to explain.
I had a similar experience.
Yeah.
Where it's almost like there's a connection or a communication with different cells in the body. I don't know how to explain it either, but it's there.
Yeah.
It happened that way. I have a question, Salim. What advice, given the perspective you've been through treatment, what advice might you have to people that may have been in a similar situation that you were in before treatment, before you even were considering Ibogaine? And if they do learn about Ibogaine and then David's treatment of neurostimulus technique, what advice might you have to them, or what type of perspective might you provide to help them understand what it's like, what happens afterwards, and what you wish you would have known before?
So the advice that I would give to people is don't get hung up on it being a psychedelic like I did. That's what I was hung up on. And it's not technically sure, but it's
not like psychedelic. Perception.
Like it holds your ego down so you can see things for how they are.
Salim, I want to tell you, number one, you look so good.
Yeah, thank you. I feel great.
It's just amazing. I mean, the face, the eyes, totally changed.
Oh yeah, I've gained like 20 pounds. Got my weight back.
You got your weight back. You needed to. I had a guy here. I treated him for obesity, whatever, over very, very. He lost 60 kilos which is time 2.2, it's 120 pounds. Okay, within the 3 weeks to 3 months. He was here 3 weeks, 3 months later, he was going down very quick, but 3 months he was already 60 kilos down. That's what it does. That's what we do. That's what we call neurostimulant technique. So when your whole brain and body reconnects, it fixes. That's what happens. It's not it's too good to be true. It's reconnecting with 99.9% pure pharmaceutical Ibogaine with other substances I use, and we reach these results. Very simple.
It's done more. I did more in 2 weeks with you than I have in the last 18 years with doctors, with treatment facilities. I mean, it's really incredible. It is. And you know, when I came back, my friends, my family, everybody, they say, when you left and somebody else came back. That's what they always tell me.
Everybody gets the same comment, believe me. Okay, even kids scream, "Daddy is back" or "Mommy is back." David, you want to ask him a question?
Yeah,
David. Yeah.
So to pick up where we left off before the weather, what advice would you offer, given your perspective on, the treatment and your process, to people who may be considering treatment with David?
Definitely.
How do you put the fears away?
So, okay, like what I said earlier, to me the scary part was it being a psychedelic, or hearing that it was a psychedelic. You hear, oh, it's a 3-day trip, and it's intense, it's hard. It's nothing like that. It really isn't. It's a lot, very mild. It opens your brain, and it'll shove your ego aside for a second, and it lets you process the gravity of your situation without your ego filtering everything to fit you, who you are. So it just, the ego, your ego will filter anything and every piece of information coming to you, and you will filter it the way that you want to see it. But Ibogaine just pushes it aside for a second and lets you see everything for what it really is.
You're teaching me, okay? You're teaching me something right now, I promise you. Every day, okay, the Talmud asks, who is the wise man? The one that learns from everyone, okay? And I just learned from you a very, very important thing. How the ego is filtered, the fears, the grudges, the fear of flying to Mexico, fear of anything. It's all fear. What is fear? Some imagination. Is untrue. It's some imagination. I'm not saying, should have a fear. You're standing on an Empire State Building on this hedge to fall down. That's true fear. But to have fear, to go get treatment, another country, what's a big deal? You fly from anywhere with direct flight, right?
Right.
Connection.
Talking to Salim's point about the psychedelic aspects of it, that makes me think of the distinction between Iboga and 99.9% pure Ibogaine HCl. Can you speak to the differences of that, David?
Yeah, the difference is extreme different. Iboga basically is the root bark, taken from the root bark of a tree growing in Southwest Africa, okay, in Gabon and other areas. Now, from that root bark has 12 different alkaloids in it, or let's call it forms or parts to it, okay? I'm a bit look like a chemist. And one of those is Ibogaine, only one of those. So it takes 1 ton of root bark to extract 1 kilo only of the pure 99.9% Ibogaine that we use here, pharmaceutical Ibogaine, and produce in an environment called pharmaceutical, because it's we created in a pharmaceutical-like environment, clean. Okay, so the difference is Iboga is psychedelic. Okay, it is. So you trip because there's so many 11 other components in it. Ibogaine is where medicinal facts come in. A brain, body, and spiritually. That's when you get the result. That's a big difference. Okay, imagine 1 ton, 1 kilo, 2,200 pounds. You end up with only 2.2 pounds. Okay, that's a pure 99.9% pharmaceutical Ibogaine that we use here, plus other natural components, which is my formula. That's why I get people off Suboxone immediately. Did we put you on any short-acting mumble jumble or anything else? Or did you get directly, Salim?
Directly. Salim?
Okay. Lost me a little bit.
Salim? Thank you, David. You know, I've noticed a lot of people don't understand the distinction between Iboga and Ibogaine, and online there's a lot of gray area where people use the term interchangeably. So when initial research is being completed by people that may be considering treatment, they see those terms interchangeably, and they don't necessarily understand 100% that they're completely different things. And thank you for distinguishing that.
Yeah, including Wikipedia. I wrote to them several times. Please, okay, let's test it. Change from psychedelic to perception. Otherwise, you're misleading people. Okay, they're looking it up in Wikipedia, and they trust it. And what you're saying that probably received it from a wrong source is not true. Okay, I'm going to write again to them. Okay, they shouldn't ignore this fact, because people's life is dependent on it. And whoever discourage someone to come and get a treatment like that, whatever happened to them and their family, they're taking the responsibility for it. Check it out. We cannot put things up without backup. We have 8,000 backups, treatments, and videos. What else?
Wasn't it wonderful to see Salim? To see Salim today, how good he looked compared to the
The man is, to me, he looks like I couldn't even recognize him. Okay, so this is Salim.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, because the photos that I saw of his initial treatment, he was a lot lighter, and so he's
lighter. His left leg, he was carrying it basically, putting his right and then carrying the left. He started walks in the beginning like a penguin, but walking, okay, normal, a little bit. He's saying they get 35% in improvement all of a sudden in a few days, and then now he's improving as he goes on.
He looks very healthy. It's good.
How many other I had here with Tourette, with acne, with diabetes? I don't know what else. How else we have to explain it?